everybody. I want to share a wonderful Disney story with you today called Peter and the Wolf. This story was written in 1974. That's almost 40 years ago. The year a book was written is called its copyright date, and it's usually found inside the front of the book. Let's begin. I want to stop and show you how to retell the story, so pay attention. Once there was a boy named Peter, and he lived with his grandfather near a big forest in Russia. One day Peter was helping Grandfather. Grandfather was chopping wood, and Peter was putting it into a pile. When they were done, Peter said, "May I go into the forest to play now?" "Oh no, Peter," said Grandfather. "You must stay away from the forest." That night Peter asked, "Why must I stay away from the forest?" "It is winter time now," said Grandfather. "The forest is full of hungry wolves." "I'm not afraid of wolves," said Peter. The next morning, Peter got up early. Grandfather was still sleeping. Peter took his toy gun and some rope, and he tiptoed past Grandfather's bed. He sneaked out of the house. "I'm going to catch me a wolf," said Peter, and he went into the forest. "After I catch him, I'll shoot him. Like this," cried Peter. "Pow, pow!" "Who's making so much noise?" asked Sasha the bird. "It's me," said Peter. "I was pretending to shoot a wolf." "This is no place to pretend," said Sasha. "There are real wolves in this forest." "And I'm going to catch one," said Peter. Sasha hopped onto Peter's gun. "You will never catch a real wolf with this toy gun," he said. "I can try," said Peter. "You might need help," said Sasha. "Then come along," said Peter, and off they went. Now I want to stop here and talk to you about retelling the story. When you retell a story, you tell the main things that happened in order. And you should always stop when you're reading a story and practice retelling the story, just like I'm going to show you now. So if we go back and use the story to help us, first Peter was chopping wood with his grandfather, and when they were done, he wanted to go into the woods to play, but his grandfather said that it was very dangerous in the forest because the forest is full of wolves. But the next morning, Peter didn't listen, and he snuck out of his house while his grandfather was sleeping, and he was going to go into the woods to catch a wolf with his toy gun, and he was very excited. And then he met Sasha the bird along the way. Peter was angry at Sasha because Sasha told Peter that he couldn't catch a wolf with his toy gun. Sasha went into the woods with Peter to help him. Now see how I told the story in the order that it happened, and I told it in my own words. I also included the character's feelings. That's what you should do when you retell the story. Now let's continue. But suddenly they stopped. There before them was a big, dark shadow. "I think it's a wolf," whispered Peter. Was Peter right? Was it a wolf? Now I want to stop here and make a prediction. Remember, a prediction is a smart guess. You use the clues from the story and what you already know in your brain to make a guess. Now what do you think that Sasha and Peter see? No, it was Sonia the duck. "Hi," she said. "What are you doing here?" "We're hunting for wolves," said Peter. "Oh, let me hunt too," cried Sonia. "I've always wanted to catch a wolf." "Come along," said Peter, and off they went. Now was your prediction right or wrong? It's okay if it was wrong. Good readers always make predictions when they read. They did not know that someone was watching Sasha. It was Ivan the cat, and he was hungry. No one saw Ivan sneak up behind Sasha. What a tasty breakfast, Ivan thought. And no one saw Ivan put out his paw. But when Ivan pounced and Sasha screeched, everyone turned around. "Ivan," said Peter, "give me that bird." Poor Ivan was so hungry. Still, he let go of Sasha and he looked sorry. Then Ivan saw something that made him jump. He jumped so high, he landed on Peter's head. "Look," he cried, "a wolf!" Now, I want to stop here and see if you can retell the story. I want you to tell what happened in the story so far. Remember to tell it in your own words. And remember to include the character's feelings. You can tell it out loud to yourself or tell it to someone at your house. It was a wolf, a big, hungry wolf. Everyone tried to hide behind a tree, but the wolf came closer and closer. They could see his sharp teeth and his bright tongue. Peter and Ivan climbed up the tree, and Sasha flew up beside them, but Sonia couldn't climb or fly. "Run!" yelled Peter. Sonia ran as fast as she could. The wolf chased her into some bushes. Then the wolf came out of the bushes. He had a duck feather in his mouth. Sonia did not come out. Peter and his friends felt very sad. "Poor Sonia," they said, and they began to cry. But there was no time for tears. The wolf was trying to get up the tree. Peter thought of a plan. He told the plan to Sasha and Ivan. Now I want to stop and make another prediction. What do you think Ivan's plan was to catch the wolf? Okay, let's continue. Sasha flew down to tease the wolf, and the wolf tried to catch Sasha. The wolf was so busy that he didn't see Ivan put the rope around his tail. Peter pulled the rope tight. "Hurry, Ivan," he cried. "Help me pull the wolf up." The wolf knew he was caught, and he began to kick and fight. Then Peter and Ivan jumped off the branch, and the wolf went up into the air. Peter held on to the rope, and Ivan held on to Peter. "I'll go and get help," said Sasha, and off he flew. Sasha went through the forest looking everywhere for help, and at last he saw 3 hunters. The hunters were hunting for a wolf. "This way," cried Sasha, "follow me." But the hunters kept going. They did not understand him. Sasha flew down in front of the hunters, and he chirped as loudly as he could. The hunters stood there looking at Sasha. They still did not understand him. And then Sasha had an idea. He used his feet to make 4 letters in the snow. H-E-L-P. "Now I understand," said one hunter. "We must follow this bird." The hunters followed Sasha, and he led them to Peter and Ivan. What a surprise for the hunters! Peter and Ivan had caught a wolf. "I'll kill that mean wolf," said a hunter. "Oh no," cried Peter, "don't kill him. He isn't mean, he's just hungry. Let's take him to the zoo." "That is a good idea," said the hunters. "The wolf can't be too hungry," said Sasha. "He just had Sonia for breakfast." "He did not," said someone. "It was Sonia." "Sonia, you're safe," cried her friends. Then everyone everyone marched off to the zoo. What a parade! Peter and his friends led the way, and the hunters carried the wolf. And soon they passed Peter's house. When Grandfather saw the parade, he could not believe his eyes. Peter and his friends had caught a wolf. The end. Now, wasn't that a great story? Remember that you can retell your story while you're reading. You can stop every few pages and retell the main events that happened in the story. Remember to include the characters and their feelings. Now, remember the main character is who the story is mostly about. Who do you think the main character was in this story? You're right, it was Peter. Character traits are describing words that tell about the character. It could be what they look like or how they act, what they say about themselves or what other people say about them. So one character trait of Peter is that he's a boy. He also doesn't listen to his grandfather. I know that because he goes into the woods when his grandfather told him not to. Now, how many more character traits can you think of for Peter? Make a list in your notebook. I'll include some more questions about Peter and the Wolf on my website. See you next time.